welcome back to part 2 of Honey Badger Racing and the race engine. So today we're going to start on the cylinder head. Obviously we've had it back from the machine shop, so it just requires a good old clean, get all the old gunk and rubbish out of all the holes, a good reaming, and then it'll be ready then to put on top of the engine, which we'll get back to shortly. Obviously last episode we finished with putting the crank in, and cleaning, building, painting and all of that. So if you've not seen that, check that out. And then this is the follow-up, so we should be able to crack on as Brandon right now cleans out these oil ports, water galleries. As you can see, the new face has got a new mating surface. It's already got its new valves in, but we'll come to that later. So let's crack on. As you can see here, Brandon is trying to get some out. Now, obviously these are quite old engines and they're not ideal. So here, as you can see there, that is a casting rod, we believe, from when the head was first made. So again, there's a few of them in there. I imagine there's a lot. Doesn't necessarily cause too much of an issue when you've got a normal engine. However, obviously we want as much water flow as possible. And these do prevent that. Obviously, the bigger the rod, the more heating problems you're going to have, and potentially cause a catastrophic failure. Right then, carrying on with the head, we put a little bit of thinners in there. This just proves there's no leaks in the first cylinder. We'll come back to the other ones. We just wanted to check this one over before we stick some paint on it. So it's going to be a clean down. We didn't get the paint on camera, but you will see what it looks like. Again, it's in the Snowberry White, which is the same colour as the back of the race car, the back panel. This, again, peat baiting an engine white, not advisable, but it will show up any leaks, oils, or anything on the engine, which no doubt there will be. There always is when you build a race engine in your garage. So here it is now, all painted. So now the head's all finished off, we're happy that it's sealing. As you can see, we've got the thinners in there, and now we're going to move back over to the block. We've got some ARP bolts to make it a bit more secure, higher torque setting on these, a bit stronger, a bit tougher for what we're doing. And yeah, here's the engine, and let's put all the pistons in and get it built. yes, our engine has wood in it, unlike modern engines. These 2 bits of wood centre the back cap. I always find it ridiculous and hilarious that they have wood in, but hey, the system works. So you just have to get the 2 bits of wood and shave them down to fit. We put a little bit of sealant on them here just to give them that little bit of extra, seal. But yeah, you just tap them in and they should slot in nicely. You can split the wood, so you just have to be careful when you put them in. Pump. A few things to note on this you'll see us doing. First of all, the pump itself obviously needs a bit of pre-lube when you put it in, and when you locate it, the actual pickup depends where your sump sits. So for us in particular, we've created a baffled sump after this video. You may see it in the future. However, we need to twist and adjust the end of the pickup, which you can just do with a lock nut, and it's threaded, to make sure that it doesn't foul on the bottom and also doesn't affect our baffled sump. Even if you're building a standard engine, this is something that you need to do as well. Just make sure that the bottom isn't scraping along the bottom of the sump, and also that it's a decent enough distance in so it is actually picking up oil. These engines inherently suffer from engine starvation, oil starvation, and hence why we've built a baffled sump. So this is our sump. Obviously it's not the baffled one as we spoke about earlier, but it is Triumph sump. So essentially we're going to put it on now, adjust the oil pump and make it so then it's movable. Obviously later, if we put the baffled sump on, we might need to adjust the pump again. But as you can see, it's just a lock nut. You just twist it in and out. Very simple. And yeah, and then once it's all done, we can bolt this all together. Once the sump's ready, put the new sump on, and then we can get on with the timing. So with some DTIs and doing the timing, we can exactly find where top dead center is. This means we can time it correctly. Again, you can perfectly find if there's any discrepancies, this will show it, rather than doing it obviously your traditional way of your timing marks. This just gives you an indication. Obviously it's had all its machining done, so it just gives you an indication of exactly where it is, and we can time it to the tooth. So timing covers next. This goes on with a little bit of a gasket, a little bit of sealant, and then we can move on to the head. So now the head's tucked down to 45 pound-feet, which seems really small considering some modern engines. We're now going to put the rocker arm in. This involves doing the rule of 9, as it's got 8 valves. So you pick the valve which is lowest and subtract that from 9. So for example, if you wanted to do valve 8, valve 1 goes all the way down till the valve's fully open, and then you take it off 9 and that gives you the valve gap of 8, and so on and so forth. So we're going to do all 8, check them, and then do them all again. Then once we've run it and we've run it to temperature, then we'll check them again. It's just a case of just making everything all settled, and yeah, let's go. Gaskets can be a little bit fiddly, so just place, like Grant's here, a little bit of silicone on the top. That should hold it in from bowing in, which is what they tend to do. It makes it a little bit easier to get on. You can also double cork them if you've still got an issue, but ours seem to be alright in the end. We've only stuck one cork on, and we have ran it like this as well, and yeah, we don't get any leaks from the rocker cover. So not an excessive amount of silicone, but just enough to hold it in. You can always go back and put a little bit more on, but the silicone's just to hold it in place, it's not really to seal it, because the cork gasket will do that. So yeah. It was in good condition, it's fine. And then we are gonna put the oil filter on. It just needs screwing in. You'll see us now. There we go. Putting it in, oil filter goes on top, and then bosh. Always put a little bit of oil around your oil seal of your oil filter. Just gives it a better seal. Hand tight, Kens. Nice. Alright, catch us next time on Honey Badger Racing, where we run this engine up and go racing at Cadwell Park.